Before this video start guys, there's a few things I want to inform you about. I haven't posted on this channel for the past 2 days. That's because I've been working on the scripts for half Osusuki and also Keiki Genkai Naruto guys, Orochimaru-san. Yes, I've been working on those scripts because of some mishap. It's taken me longer than expected to upload those, but no, it's not cancelled guys, so there's nothing to worry about. Yes, everything is still going on, but I've been gone for 2 days, so I figure I'll pump out something that I've been working on as well. I can't remember who gave me this idea, but thanks. I jotted it down some time ago and I've been working on it. There's a few episodes to go through. I've already created the plot for those, so there's nothing to worry about. However, the other series will be up soon, so don't worry, there's nothing that has been cancelled. So yeah, this is basically what if Naruto was a half Archangel, a Nephilim to be exact. And keep in mind that a Nephilim always surpass their creator. So yeah guys, sit back, relax, and I hope you guys enjoy this new what if. Let's begin now guys. We begin this new series with a man. As the man was walking in pitch darkness, there was nothing around, no light source, until he raised his hand. Like I said once before, let there be light. Upon saying that, a gigantic TV of sorts appeared in front of him. It had over thousands of screens. It was so massive that it seemed to encompass the entire space that was now well lit. The man walked forward as there was a chair. He proceeded to sit down. There was a tiny smirk on his lips. "Naruto Uzumaki," he said. "Well, this should prove to be rather entertaining." As he focused on the center screen. As we dive inside, we begin this episode at the Hidden Leaf. The strongest nation amongst the Great Five. The Elemental Nation, it was named. And the Hidden Leaf was the strongest, the land of fire, always being blessed with exceptional shinobis. At the moment, Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage of the Hidden Leaf, was currently residing in his tower as he rested against his chair. Rest was not something that was coming to him though as he looked in front of him. There was so much paperwork. Piles of paperwork. However, this is not his first time doing this, so he was not worried in the slightest. His mind was preoccupied though, with one single boy. It was not that the boy was a troublemaker, far from it to be exact. He was just, well, lazy. Lazy might not be the word, it would be unmotivated. Yes, that would be the exact word. As Hiruzen thought about that young boy, his name was Naruto Uzumaki. From a young age, Naruto started to show signs of being a Nara. It was a little joke, as Hiruzen chuckled to himself. The Naras were always lazy to an extent. However, Naruto was much like one unmotivated, as he did not like to do things. It was even hard to get him to join the academy. Hiruzen thought that he would be ecstatic, after all. He thought that Naruto being unmotivated was just a phase when he was younger. Many people in this village, many kids, aspire to become a shinobi of the Hidden Leaf, to become something great, to have their name being known one day. But not Naruto, he was completely different. He rarely did anything. Hiruzen had to more or less force him to join the academy. But even then, he barely made any strive. Aruka had complained several times about him, Naruto skipping class. Hiruzen tried to scold him, trying everything that he could, but it didn't matter what he did. If Naruto did go to class if he was forced, he simply slept. And he did not answer the questions. However, it was odd. Whenever Hiruzen spoke to Naruto, he would try to trick him into learning, therefore asking him things that a teacher might ask at the academy. And the thing was, Naruto knew every single one of them. Now that was odd. He spoke to Shikaku Nara about this because his son, Shikamaru, was in the same place. And Shikaku came up with a theory. It seems like Naruto was bored. Yes, that was the case. However, he chose to express his boredom in a way of unproductive and not doing anything. And being, well, disobeying rules to be exact. Because he knew all the answers whenever Hiruzen asked him, but Naruto did not try in class. He did not try on the test at all, which made him the dead last in the class. And the physical part was even worse. However, Hiruzen spied on Naruto with his crystal ball, and he had watched Naruto throw a pebble. He was aiming towards a target, and every single throw that he made, he always hit the mark. Naruto never wanted to be a ninja, but there were certain reasons why Hiruzen could not tell him why. He had to be a ninja of the hidden leaf. But perhaps that is why he was doing this, and not really caring about the academy, because he knew either way he would pass no matter what. Hiruzen's side, the only one that seemed to be able to cheer him up and get him to express himself was his little friend that he made some time ago. They must be together today, Hiruzen thought to himself, knowing that those two were always together. Hiruzen was glad for that. Because of Naruto's birth, the circumstances that led to one of the greatest demons ravaging through the village, people did not see him with kind eyes. But he was glad that Naruto had support from people, and at least a friend. A close one like that. That girl was truly a blessing in disguise, Hiruzen thought to himself. Meanwhile, as Hiruzen was debating on that, a young girl, no older than 12 years old, was making her way. There was a calm smile on her face as she walked through the busy streets of Konoha. It took her some time as she got towards where the monument lay. As she looked up toward the stairs, there was a lot of stairs. As she looked at them as a challenge, maybe this could be a good workout, she thought to herself. She then proceeded to hop up the stairs, one after another. It did not take her much time as she arrived towards the top. As the wind was blowing her pink hair, the girl had a basket in her hand, a small one, as she walked. She had on normal black sandals, black shorts, along with a red skirt that tied well with her red shirt that made them seem like they were connected, but they were not. She had bandage on her arm. This was because of her, practicing, and she got a bit, she slipped up a bit, causing her to injure herself. Her bright green eyes looked forward as she saw the person that she was looking for. There he was. He was lying on top of the fourth Hokage's head. As usual, she thought. This person was none other than Naruto Uzumaki. He had blonde hair that was cut short. His eyes could not be seen, but they were blue. The reason they could not be seen because he was wearing glasses. He was dressed in a grey shirt and grey shorts and black sandals. His clothing was something that would get him lost in the crowd. He was not one that tried to stand out. The girl was none other than Sakura Haruno. As she smiled, looking towards her best friend, as she could still remember the first time that she met him. Flashback. Sakura was 6 years old, as she was going to join the academy in a couple of weeks. She went to the park every now and then, as she was trying to make friends, but it was hard to do so. Ino and her gang, they were a bunch of bullies. She did have a few friends with the girls that did not like Ino though. However, Ino did not act that way when the both of them were alone. She was much nicer, but when her friends were there, Ino tended to get a bit harsh, which involved the others teasing Sakura about her forehead. At the moment, she was crying. In front of her was a girl named Ami. She was one of Ino's friends. She had two older brothers that were just 1 year older than her. As they all grinned looking down. "Why you crying, forehead?" As they were mocking her. As Sakura simply huddled up on herself, hoping that they would stop. That is when a voice spoke up. "Would you shut the hell up?" It caused all of them to look up. There was someone in the tree. None of them had noticed till now. It was a boy. It seems like he had been sleeping. They all watched in shock as he fell out of the tree, as he landed calmly on his feet, surprising them. He seemed to be around 6 years old. "Who the hell are you?" Ami said. "That's none of your business," he said. "Hey you, with a pink head, stop crying. Your voice is annoying me." As Sakura just kept on crying, causing the boy eyebrow to twitch. "See, Sakura," Ami said, "even the newcomer knew that you're annoying." As the boy eyes surveyed the situation. "Oh, I see. You're bullying her," he said. "Yeah? What's it to you?" said Ami. "Well, I'm just wondering, how can someone that looks like you bully anyone?" he said. It took her a while. "Wait, what did you just say?" "I said you're ugly. Are you deaf or something?" "Hey, watch it!" her older brother shouted to the left. "Oh? And what exactly are you gonna do about it?" he asked. The other brother moved forward. "Let's teach his punk a lesson." As the both of them engaged, Ami smirked. "Now you'll pay," she said. Sakura eyes widened in fear. Ami's bigger brothers were the reason why most kids were afraid of her. "Run away," she yelled towards him. The first one at the left had threw a punch. However, the child merely stepped back as the punch did not even come close. The second one rushed forward as he slammed right into the younger boy, trying to pick him up off the ground. But as he did, the younger boy dropped his elbow into his skull. The older fellow collapsed down to the ground, his face slamming into the earth, and he was no longer moving. Brother? The other boy spoke up. You'll pay for that!" He rushed towards the boy. However, he swung wildly. The boy simply extended his feet, as the bigger boy tripped over his own feet and bumped his head on his brother's. He winced in pain, only for a fist to connect right into his face, knocking him out. Cold. Ami was frightened. Her brothers had bullied and put people into submission hold before, but she's never seen them knock anyone out or them get knocked out before. The boy then stuffed his hands in his pockets as he proceeded to walk away. Sakura was still in awe. She got up and went after him. He paused. "Why are you following me?" I just want to say thanks." "Thanks? For what?" he asked. "You saving me." "Saving you? I could care less. I don't even know who you are. I just don't like bullies." "But still," she said, "you saved me. Who are you?" He looked towards her. She was surprised by his blue eyes. They were so deep and consuming. He sighed. "The old man was telling me to make friends. I suppose you can do as one, so he can finally get off my back. The name is Naruto Uzumaki." In the flashback, that was the first time Sakura met him, as he saved her from Ami and her brothers. Since that day, none of them ever tried anything with her, because they were afraid of Naruto. Sakura had did everything that she could to get near Naruto. She invited him over on several occasions. He had slowly become her close friend. When he first got to her house, her parents were acting strange. Naruto did not seem to notice or care. If he did not care. He talked to her normal, but her parents were acting weird. Once Naruto was gone, she asked him what was up, but they never told her. The next day, her parents were at the park when she was hanging out with Naruto. She was confused by their sudden appearance. Her father had went over to talk to Naruto. And after that day, her parents no longer acted strange. They talked to Naruto normally and they were okay with their friendship. Sakura wasn't sure what was up at first, until she found out. But that was another story. Right now, as she made her way over, she arrived right beside him as she dropped the basket right on his head, waking him up. "What the hell?" he said, as he opened his eyes under the shade. "What do you want?" he said. She sat down beside him, ignoring him for a moment as she fished into the basket. "I'm guessing that you haven't eaten yet." As Naruto stretched before he pulled himself up. "What time is it?" "Well, the sun is going down, and you missed the academy today again," she said to him. It's boring, said Naruto. Why should I waste my time there? And what else are you doing, she asked him. Can't you see? Relaxing. Sakura sighed. If you keep on being this unmotivated, you will never succeed in life. And what exactly does that mean, said Naruto. What do you mean what that means, she said to him. Succeed. My definition of succeed is to relax and have no problems. Your definition is to be a ninja. So can you elaborate to me which one of those is better, said Naruto. Lazy ass, she said. What do you call me? I said you're a lazy ass, she shouted. Not like I was trying to hide it. And you're a know-it-all, said Naruto. Jerk, she said to him. Before he could retort, she stuffed something in his mouth as Naruto started to chew. You're lucky I'm even taking the effort to bring you something to eat when I know you can just get up and get it yourself. I'm not a complete imbecile, you know that, right? Said Naruto. It's not like I'm gonna starve for death if you don't bring me food. Sakura simply shrugged, as a part of her liked it, because all this food that she brought him, she actually was the one to cook it. Her mother was teaching her when she was younger, and Naruto enjoyed her food greatly. Whatever she made for him, he always ate it up. So despite her complaining, she rather liked when he ate her food. Sakura had gone through many changes. Throughout the years, Ino and her had become friends as well. But her friendship with Ino was nothing close to what her friendship with Naruto was. Naruto was her bestest friend in the world, and nothing could ever change that. He was the person that was there for her the most, outside of her appearance of course. And sometimes she feel like she was the only one in this world that understands him. It was because of him that she started to take her ninja affair more seriously. And there was another reason as well. Majority of the girls in the class were crushing over Sasuke, so they did not focus at all on their ninja training at all, except for one other person, and that was Hinata. She was also turned into a better person by Naruto as well. As for Sakura, she realized something. As the girls were all fawning over Sasuke, Sasuke did not treat them well, despite Naruto always acting rather rude to her. She knew that he cared, as it was just their way of talking to one another. But Sasuke on the other hand, he was a complete jerk and an asshole. So she knew that he was not a good person, therefore she never developed a crush for him, not like the other girls. Yes, he was good looking, but that was all. Therefore she focused most of her studies and her training on being a better kunoichi. That is what made her #1 kunoichi in the class. She knew that she was not as good in taijutsu as Hinata after all. Her clan specialized in that. But her grades allowed her to surpass Hinata in that area. Sakura was extremely smart, and her physical capabilities were not lacking either for someone of her, age group, and her profession in soon to be a genin. As she looked down towards Naruto, who was still eating, as calmly and as carefree as ever. Sometimes she did not know how he did it. He just didn't seem to worry about anything. He did not worry about becoming a genin, he did not worry about missions, he just did not seem to care. It was his personality that she has known for some time now, and it didn't seem like it was going to change. However, unlike most people, she knew that despite him not showing any signs of, strength or intelligence most times, he was smarter than even her, and that was saying something. And not to mention, in terms of fighting, she knew if Naruto was to fight Sasuke for real, he would mop the floor with him. However, Naruto did not like to engage with people. In fact, he tried to avoid them as much as possible. If one would see this interaction, they would probably say that he hates humans, given a few exceptions, her being one of them. Well, that is how he was, and she knew that nothing could change him. But she was also glad for something else. She did some research and she found out that the kunoichi and the Rookie of the Year will be placed in a team with the dead last, and given Naruto grades and poor performance in the academy, she would have it no other way, as she wanted to be in a team with him. That would be the best. Time skip. A few days later, Hiruzen heard a tap on his window. As he turned his gaze, for a moment there he thought it was Jiraiya, knowing that he was the only one that tended to take the window instead of the door. Hiruzen was baffled, caught off guard completely as he saw Naruto? He quickly rushed towards said window and opened it up. As Naruto climbed inside as he walked over towards the couch and threw himself on it. Hiruzen blinked in surprise. How did you get up here? He asked, looking at Naruto confused. What do you mean? I walked, said Naruto. Yes, I know you walked, but how exactly did you reach up to this level? Hiruzen said, as Naruto looked towards him like he was dumb. Yes, I know that you walked, Hiruzen repeated, but how did you climb all the way up here? Wait, did you climb? No, I walked. Hiruzen looked at him skeptically. When you say walk, do you mean you walk on the wall? Hiruzen said. As Naruto yawned, what's the big deal? He said. I see other ninjas do this all the time. Naruto-kun, would you mind performing what you did to get up here? On that wall over there, Hiruzen said. Naruto sighed as he picked himself up. He walked over towards said wall and placed his foot out. As he stuck to it, he then started to walk until he was on the ceiling. As he looked down towards Hiruzen. Satisfied? Hiruzen did not say anything as Naruto released the control that he had and fell right on the couch. Do you have any idea what you just did? Hiruzen asked. Yes, I walked on the wall, said Naruto. Oh, I see. Your age, it's starting to affect you. Hiruzen clubbed him over the head. Ow, said Naruto. It's not that, you brat, he said. What you just did is an advanced form of chakra control that has not been taught to anyone in the academy. How did you learn how to do that? Hiruzen said, now becoming skeptical, believing that someone had been teaching Naruto. In the past, he believed that this persona of being lazy was just a persona that Naruto took on to fool everyone. But why would he show his potential to walk on the wall now, when they were so close for him to graduate? Or maybe he was doing this perfectly so that he could reveal everything once he was now going to be a ninja. However, as Hiruzen looked at Naruto's face, all of that quickly faded away, as Naruto did not seem like a mastermind or someone was controlling him. Hiruzen didn't know why. He had a lot of trust in the boy. There was just something about him that made you want to trust him. And for some reason, Hiruzen could not detect any lie from him just by looking at him. I saw some of your ninjas walking on the wall, so I simply followed what they were doing. You mean replicating wall walking by using the chakra at the bottom of your feet? Hiruzen said. Yes, we were taught about chakra in the academy, if you don't remember, said Naruto. Tuh, and you do, judging the amount of time you went to the academy, Hiruzen said. Well, I still know a thing or two, said Naruto. So are you satisfied with that? No, not yet, Hiruzen said. You're still not grasping exactly what you have done. This has proved to me now that all this time you are just not trying. Trying? Trying what? Said Naruto. In the academy, Hiruzen said. Time after time, Iruka believed that you are not putting in any effort. And I agree with him. And to this day I don't understand why. If I didn't know any better, I would say that you were a Nara. As Naruto raised the eyebrow at that. Nothing, Hiruzen said. But this just showed that you have excellent control. And that was confusing to Hiruzen. Usually, people with such high amount of chakra did not have that excellent control. And Naruto had a lot of chakra. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I saw them doing it, so I tried it out. And it worked. It's a rather nifty tool. You can get places rather easily. And when did you start working on this? I'm not sure. About half a day ago, said Naruto. Hiruzen blinked once again in surprise. So what did you call me for? Said Naruto. About that, I called you over an hour ago. You told Anvu that you were doing something important. Where have you been? Hiruzen said. I was doing something important, and you interrupted me, said Naruto, and besides, it doesn't seem like you called me for anything important, said Naruto looking around. Let me guess, that's about the academy and the upcoming test, right? Yes, exactly, Hiruzen said. You are not like other children. You have shown me that on several occasions, but you have to make some changes, Naruto. If you pass the upcoming tests, you will become a shinobi of the Hidden Leaf, and you will be sent out on missions. And I just want to make sure that you understand that things are going to be different, and that you need to take your training seriously, while the academy does help grow and nurture a student. The true test is what comes afterwards. So I need you to take things seriously, and actually put in some effort, Hiruzen said. Do you understand? As Naruto did not answer. Naruto, he said. Yes, I hear you, said Naruto. I'm going to be a shinobi soon, so I have to prepare for what is to come, right? Exactly, Hiruzen said. However, I'm more intrigued about you learning the wall walking. So explain to me what happened when you learned this technique from seeing a shinobi do it, Hiruzen said, causing Naruto to sigh once more. Time skip. Naruto sat on top of his roof. The apartment complex that he lived in was rather large. There were other tenants, as Naruto lived up on one of the higher floors. As he was on the gigantic roof of the apartment complex, gazing out at the night sky, Sakura had stopped by some time ago, but she had headed home. Tomorrow was a big test, as she wanted to make sure that she was well rested. But it doesn't matter. It's not like she's gonna fail or anything, Naruto thought. Sometimes she just need to relax. But when he tell her that, she told him that he was being lazy. But she was overworked. People always say that he was unmotivated and lazy, but that was not the case. He just tried, but not that hard. He was different, and he's known that for a long time now. He saw things that normal people did not see. There were things that he did not even tell Sakura, who was his closest friend. And if he did not tell her something, no one else would know. There were things that he could see that other people could not. Since he was younger, it was just blurs, but the more he grew, the more he started to view the world, he saw them. Shadows. Taking human form. They walk amongst us. Majority of them pass through the village. Majority of the time they head to the graveyard. Naruto had followed them on occasions. He believed that he was seeing spirits, ghosts to be exact. But the ghosts never went into the grave. They simply went away with someone. Those people Naruto could see rather clearly. He believed that they were spirits that died, but why would they be going with another spirit? He wasn't sure on that. Maybe they were introducing them to the afterlife. Naruto had not told Sakura about this, as he didn't want to freak her out. This was something that left to him because he could handle it. Not that she was going to lose her mind for hearing this, but she would be worried, thinking that something was wrong. And he knew that everything was fine because this was happening to him for a long time. But he experienced the world different from normal people. And sometimes he felt overloaded. It was like his body was being weighed down, like he was somewhat suppressed. And he couldn't understand why. Most of the time he just felt tired, like he wanted to sleep. Despite sleeping for 8 hours straight, waking up he felt tired once again. It was like his whole body was tied down, like he was carrying a gigantic block all over the village, everywhere he went. Over time he had just accepted that, and he started to take on a lazy demeanor. However, in terms of strength and overall fitness, he was okay. Sasuke Uchiha was said to be the strongest in the class, but that is because Naruto simply had not tried. Fame and popularity was not his big thing. He did not like people that much. There was only a few people that he could tolerate. A bunch of people swooning over him was something that he did not like. Besides, he already got a bunch of people hating him for something that was not under his control. As Naruto yawned once again, deciding to sleep up here for tonight. He's done it before. As he went to sleep, unaware that he was being watched. A far distance away on top of a roof, there was a figure there. It was a person. The person's body was mostly made up of black smoke. Whipsy black smoke that seemed to converge in one area, before it slowly vanished. The silhouette of the human bursting apart into nothingness. Time skip. I do not like to be dragged out of my house, especially this early. This is not early. It's the time of the academy and I know, if I did not come by, you would have never showed up, said Sakura. And today is a very important day. I would have showed up, said Naruto. I know that today is important. Even if you did, you would have showed up late. As Naruto simply shrugged, perhaps she was right. As he looked up towards the sun, so all-encompassing and bright, he sighed as they made their way. Finally arriving there, they came across none other than Hinata. Hinata was the oldest daughter of Hayashi Hyuga, heiress of the Hyuga clan. Sakura-san, Naruto-kan, Hinata said, a smile on her face. And how are you two today? Hinata asked. A bit excited and also nervous, Sakura said. I feel the same way, said Hinata. She glanced over towards Naruto. Annoyed, said Naruto, as Sakura was still holding on to the back of his shirt. Hinata giggled at their antics, as she was used to it by now. Some time ago she escaped from her caretaker Keo, and a couple boys were bullying her because of her eyes. Sakura had been the one to step in and save her from that. The boys then decided to get physical. That was until Naruto arrived and clobbered all of them. From then on, Sakura had told her that she had to stand up for herself. And because of them, well, mostly Sakura, although Naruto was someone that gave compliments every now and then. Well, they were few but still. He was not a man of many words, Hinata thought, but he was a good person, and he was nice. You just had to get past his whole demeanor as well. But they helped her get out of her shell. It turns out that all that she ever needed was confidence. Once she had confidence, she could do, well, great things. As they made their way inside. Well, look who's early for once, said Ino as she arrived, looking towards Naruto. Naruto did not know what her deal was. Every time she saw him, she felt entitled to talk, something that Naruto did not like a lot of times. Well, from people that he did not care about. As he simply made his way to his seat and sat by the window. As Sakura sat next to him, Hinata, sitting beside Sakura. As they waited, people chatted amongst the class as Naruto looked through the window. As he watched, he saw another one of those shadowy figures, walking through Konoha and vanishing. He was really curious on what they were, because whenever he saw them he felt something strange within himself. It is almost like he was resonating towards whatever the creature was. Alright everyone, Haruka said, coming in. As he glanced over, seeing that Naruto was here. Well, at least he was early for the test. Haruka had lost his parents on night of the Kyuubi attack. However, he could see that Naruto was not the beast. Unlike many, he could separate the boy from the seal. As Haruka started to talk, Naruto zoned him out. As people started to take their tests. As Naruto saw Sakura got up. Wish me luck, she said. Why would you need luck if you know that you can do something? Naruto asked. Sakura gave him a hard stare. You could have just said good luck and keep your mouth shut, you know that, right? Hinata covered her mouth as she started to giggle. These two always cracked her up. As Sakura looked towards her. Good luck, Sakura-san, Hinata said. Sakura made her way around. It was going by last names. She came back sometime later, headband fully displayed on her forehead, a smile on her face. Wow. Surprise, said Naruto, as he rolled his eyes in a sarcastic tone. Jackass, Sakura said. Hinata smiled at her though, as she was called next. Hinata came back, with her headband in tow. As Naruto had his head on the table like he was asleep, she wouldn't be surprised if he was actually asleep. He could fall asleep rather quickly. Names went by as some students came out crying. Some of them came out with big smiles on their faces. Finally, Naruto's name was called. As he got up, good luck, Sakura said. As Naruto looked towards her with a blank look. See? It's that easy, she said. Good luck, Naruto-kan, Hinata said. Naruto stuffed his hands in his pockets as he made his way. Arriving towards room, he saw Iruka and the other teacher. As Naruto scratched his cheek, he did not remember this guy's name, but he seemed to be one of them that hate him, given the look that he first gave him when he came in. Yes, Naruto's eyes were very sharp. Ah, Naruto, Iruka said. Are you ready for this exam? He said. Why wouldn't I be? Said Naruto. Given your past actions, it seemed to be a slim chance that you would be. Well, you would know better. You're the teacher after all, said Naruto. Alright, Iruka said. I need you to perform the clone jutsu and the transformation jutsu. Naruto brought his hand together and transformed into Iruka. Is that good enough? Said Naruto, scratching his head in the Iruka form. Yes, that's quite good enough. Now the last one. As Naruto brought his hand up, two clones appeared by his side. Iruka could not understand how Naruto did this. The amount of chakra that Naruto had, there should be no way that he should be able to summon this kind of clone, because it requires so little, but yet he could do it. It was just another sign that Naruto had, deliberately, trying not to pass in his class. What can I say? Iruka said. You pass. I expected to, said Naruto. Given your lack of enthusiasm towards everything, I doubt it that much, Iruka said. Well, I'm a complicated person, said Naruto, as he took the headband, as he frowned. Is something wrong? It would just be another thing weighing me down. Mizuki looked towards him with a scowl. Weighing you down? That headband symbolized you being a part of the Shinobi Corps. As Naruto raised a hand, cutting him off. You're talking too fast. I didn't mean weighing me down physically. So would you mind just being quiet, since you don't know what I mean? What did you just say to me? Said Mizuki. As Naruto turned towards Iruka. I think you need to go and have his hearing checked. Iruka sighed. He shook his head. Naruto has never been the politest person. Well, thanks for this, said Naruto as he waved goodbye. As he left the class. Mizuki, just let it go, Iruka said, seeing his friend fuming. Yeah, you're right. At least he's out of the academy. Let the world deal with him now. He's your problem. Mizuki said with a sinister smile. Iruka caught the last moments of it, unsure what that smile was about. He knew his friend was one of the many that did not see Naruto as a normal child, and he did not like that. Time skip. At the end of the day, Sakura and Naruto walked through. As they arrive outside, Sakura's parents are out there. Her father is where she get her pink hair from. Her mother had light brown hair. Her name was Mizuki Haruno. Her father was Kazashi Haruno. Sakura rushed up to them, a beaming smile on her face, as she showed them her headband, as Naruto was called over as well. Congratulations, Naruto. The both of them said, are they congratulating their daughter? Thanks, said Naruto. How about we take you to and get you to a treat? A celebration of sorts for passing the exam. Naruto would say yes, but something caught his eye. Sorry, I'm gonna have to take a rain check, said Naruto. Maybe another time. Thanks for the invitation though. As both parents nodded. Don't take it personally. Well, you two should know by now, said Sakura. He is just like that. The both of them simply laughed, as they knew the boy very well at first. They were like many, suspecting him of, well, the event that happened some years ago. But after getting to know him, and seeing how much joy he brought their daughter, his friendship to be exact, they decided to look beyond the fox and see him for what he truly was. A very lazy child, but he was also kind, and also protective as well. Meanwhile, as Naruto was walking, for the first time he was able to see this thing so clearly. He walked after it, but when he arrived in the forest, it was nowhere to be seen. So he decided to just sit there and wait. A couple of hours went by and nothing happened. That was until Naruto felt something hit him on the shoulder. Looking down, Naruto saw that it was a pebble. He turned and looked around. It was the dead of the night. There was barely any light because of the trees blocking the moonlight out. But Naruto wasn't afraid. He wasn't sure that he was scared of anything. It was like his reaction to most things were just dull. Another problem he had. He was weighed down and he was dull with emotions. Well, he had feelings, but he did not scare easily. Granted, he never think that anything could actually scare him. However, as he looked over, he saw the whipsy black smoke. It glided across the ground. It had no feet. Naruto went after it. That is when he saw it vanish. But something caught his ears, clashing. As Naruto walked over to see, Mizuki jumped down to the ground. His right leg had a nasty gash in it. His right shoulder was bleeding. He was holding on to a kunai with his left arm. Mizuki had planned this carefully. With the graduation today, the Chunin guard was someone that he had made friends with over the past couple of years. He had cemented himself in this village as a loyal Konoha ninja, when he was actually working for one of the enemies. But despite surprising the first one, the other one was able to stab him in the shoulder. And a kunai had nicked his leg as well. He was in the process of patching himself up after he stole the forbidden scroll when Aruka arrived, and the both of them engaged. However, Mizuki heard something. Turning, he saw who it was. Aruka's eyes went wide. Naruto? Get out of here, he said. Run, quickly! Aruka didn't want Mizuki to use Naruto as leverage to get him to win this battle, not to mention for his hatred. However, Mizuki's eyes light up. He took the Fuma shuriken off his back and launched it towards Naruto. Naruto, move! Aruka yelled. Naruto stepped out of the way as the shuriken passed him. That is when Aruka saw the glint. Mizuki then tugged on the ninja wire. Said shuriken was coming towards Naruto from behind at blinding speeds. Naruto! Aruka yelled in shock as he was about to watch a young boy get impaled. That was when, with incredible acrobatics, Naruto flipped. Quickly though, as he landed on top of said shuriken, chakra on the bottom of his feet. He twirled, twisting himself as he launched a thing with his own chakra back towards Mizuki. Mizuki had to dive for cover as he collapsed on the ground, hitting his wound. Aruka was baffled by that. Aruka was shocked. You brat, Mizuki said, wincing in pain. He had to find another way. Hey, demon, he said. You want to know something? He launched several shurikens towards Aruka to make sure that he did not engage. Aruka jumped away, blocking the ones that he could. The reason why everyone hates you, it's because you're the nine-tailed fox. You're the demon from all those years ago. You're a monster, said Mizuki. However, as Aruka arrived back on the scene, flipping to avoid the shurikens that he did, Naruto's expression did not change in the slightest. Demon, did you hear me? As Naruto picked his ear. You know, I may be unmotivated, but I'm not stupid, said Naruto as he reached and lifted up his shirt. Do you really think that something like this could be on me, and I would not notice? Aruka's eyes went wide. You knew? As I said, I'm not stupid, said Naruto. And I'm not the fox, you jackass. The fox is just sealed inside of me, said Naruto, as he looked towards Mizuki. What is even going on? He's stealing the forbidden scroll. He's an enemy. Oh, well, I see you got this covered, said Naruto. I'll be going now, as he started to walk away. Sorry, but I can't afford to have any witnesses. Mizuki appeared a few feet in front of Naruto. Aruka rushed forward, but Mizuki launched himself towards the blonde, intending on skewering him with his kunai right through his temple. However, once again Aruka was caught off guard when Naruto did something that surprised him. Naruto dodged with little to no efforts. It was like Mizuki was moving in slow motion. Naruto grabbed his wrist. Despite Mizuki being taller and larger, Naruto held onto his wrist and proceeded to yank him forward. Mizuki was probably caught off guard by the pull, Aruka thought, not expecting Naruto to be that strong. Naruto raised his leg and slammed it into Mizuki's, right into his wound. Mizuki cried out loud as he dropped to one knee. Naruto's hand then lashed out as he slammed it on Mizuki's arm. as Naruto applied pressure to his wound, causing him to drop all weapons that he had in his possession. Mizuki screamed out, its screams echoing through the forest. Naruto's simple action caused him immense pain. What I don't understand is, why do you think it was a wise idea to attack the demon? Said Naruto with ear quotes. Aren't you afraid of the repercussion? I'll kill you, said Mizuki. Naruto picked up Mizuki kunai as he noticed a ninja wire on the ground, which he held on to as well. Mizuki got up, but Naruto launched the kunai right into his wound, causing him to fall over again as Naruto yanked the wire. Upon yanking the wire, it seems like he added a bit too much force. The Fuma Shuriken flew from the tree as Aruka knocked Naruto out of the way. Mizuki's eyes widened as the Fuma Shuriken lodged right into his skull. He proceeded to collapse on his side, dead. Are you alright? Aruka asked as he pulled himself up. Yes, I'm just fine, said Naruto as he looked at Mizuki's body. Aruka tried to block Naruto's view, but Naruto saw something strange. A shadowy figure exited Mizuki's body and stood there. Naruto felt a strange feeling from it, confusion. That is when the one from before, he didn't know how he knew, but the same figure from before came over and tapped the new one on his shoulder. Aruka looked forward as he saw Naruto's gaze was intense, figuring that Naruto was just stunned by seeing someone die. However, the new shadowy figure vanished. The one that was there from before looked at Naruto for a moment before it also vanished. As the blonde watched, the smoke went away. That is when Anvus arrived in the clearing. Time skip. Naruto sat in the office as Hiruzen looked at him. I'm sorry you had to go through that. That my man weren't there earlier to protect you and Aruka. As Naruto yawned, I'm pretty tired, can I go home? Aruka informed me of what happened, Hiruzen said, ignoring Naruto whining about the Kyuubi. Yes, I already know about it, said Naruto. Did you tell anyone? Hiruzen asked. Sakura knows, said Naruto. Hiruzen was happy to hear that she was still by his side even after hearing that. But her parents were good people, so he was not surprised. Naruto, don't bother apologizing, said Naruto. I see, Hiruzen said, believing that Naruto was angry. You're upset with me. What? Of course not, said Naruto. You're not? Why would I be? You set a law that no one could talk about it to give me a good life. How did you... I know a lot of things, said Naruto. As I said, just because I'm unmotivated doesn't mean I'm stupid. And besides, the only person I should be pissed at is the fourth Hokage. Naruto, he did not... Yeah, I know what you're going to say, said Naruto, cutting him off. He did not do this to punish me or whatnot. I figure there must be a reason why he sealed the beast inside of me. Do you know what it is? Unfortunately, I wasn't there, so no. However, the fourth Hokage, yes, said Naruto. He's a good man, a hero, Hokage. What can I say? I'm not pissed. Although, if I meet him, which I can't, I would like to punch him in the face at least once. Or twice. But other than that, I'm okay. I mean, I can't change the past. I'm not some kind of god that can rewrite history. Besides, it's better this way. I don't really like people that much. And they stay their distance. I have my friend. I have people like you. I don't really need anyone else. Life is a much larger experience, Naruto. There's much more in the world that you can experience and go through. There will be more people that come in the future. Well, I hope they're not annoying, said Naruto. Hiruzen chuckled at that, as a small smile cracked on Naruto's face. How are you? He asked. What you just witnessed? To be honest, I'm fine, said Naruto. I would have felt different if it was someone that was good, but the guy was a traitor. And that was his punishment for what he did. Besides, he was a jackass and he tried to kill me. I suppose that is correct. But I never wanted you to witness something at your age. Time of a shinobi is different, but this is just too early. Judging from your reaction, I'm guessing that missions are not gonna be all dangerous, said Naruto. You're going to be a genin, Hiruzen said. When you first become a genin, the mission priorities, Naruto turned his back. Sorry to interrupt, but you're gonna go on about a long-winded speech, so forget that I asked that question. I'll see you some other time, said Naruto as he walked away waving his hand. Hiruzen watched him leave. He let the boy get away with a lot, but despite Naruto's flipping behavior, he knew that Naruto was respectful. But he was just complicated. Time skip. Stop looking at me, said Naruto. As he glanced over towards Sakura, she was worried. He told her what happened, of course, but then she became all worried. That is why he shouldn't have told her, but beyond his better judgment, he had to go and say something. What the hell was wrong with him, he thought to himself. Now she was all worried. I should have been there to help you. What exactly would you have done? I'm not saying this against your skills or anything, but if you were there, I doubt that the outcome would be different. So, why did you want to be there again? You saw someone die right in front of you. Naruto blinked. You do know that you're going to be a kunoichi, right? And that means that you're gonna have to kill people, said Naruto. Yes, I know, but I believe when the time is right, I'll be ready, she said. And besides, you'll be there. And I can count on you to watch my back, and I'll do the same for you. Emotional much, said Naruto. She punched him in the shoulder. You hating me is not gonna change the fact, said Naruto, as she glared at him. Are you sure you're alright, she asked, her tone softening. Yes, I'm fine, said Naruto. Besides, the guy was a traitor, so no big deal. Alright, fine, she said, I'll drop it. I was just worried. And besides, you could have kept this to yourself, because you know how I would react. Yes. Sometime I'm a real idiot, said Naruto. Yes. Yes, you are, she said. Time skip. Iruka arrived. Considering that no one asked about Mizuki, he decided to keep that under wraps. There is no reason to bring them into this world by, well, telling them about something like this. I'm proud of you all, he said, a bright smile on his face. You've all come so far. You've all grown so exponentially. And I couldn't be prouder. As he started a monologue, Naruto turned his gaze towards the window. As he looked outside, once again he saw that shadow, watching him, before it vanished. Maybe it was a ghost that was obsessed with him. But why would a ghost be obsessed with him? He was so boring, he thought to himself. As Naruto was lost in his thoughts, thinking about nothing really, when he heard Team 7, Sasuke Uchiha, Naruto Uzumaki, and Sakura Haruno. Sakura clenched her fist in delight, a smile on her face. She was right, and Naruto was on her team. But Sasuke was also there as well. She didn't quite hate him, but she wasn't one of the fangirls that would fawn over him. His, well, whole attitude and demeanor was something that was not quite great when comparing to someone like Naruto. People did not treat people badly or ignore them. Sasuke simply looked, well, neutral. His face did not seem upset or pissed off, as he did not show that much reaction. Naruto glanced over to the boy. He had lost a lot. His entire clan, everyone killed by his brother. Naruto was surprised to hear that. No wonder he was always scowling. Well, he had a reason to be pissed off. And some of these academy girls were just annoying. He was glad that he wasn't friends with any of the annoying fangirls. But it seems that Uchiha was going to be on his team. As Naruto wondered who was this sensei of theirs. Sometime later, Well, I guess the loser squad get the loser sensei, Kiba said. As Hinata said goodbye, Kuruna had been the last one to pick up her team there. But Team 7 sensei was still not here. Our sensei is not even outside, Sakura said, as she looked out the door. I wonder where he is. Sakura turned as she realized she was talking to herself. Because Naruto's head was on the table and Sasuke was looking through the window. She sighed as she sat down. An hour later, nothing. 30 minutes after that, nothing. Sakura was slowly losing her patience. However, that is when the door opened up. As someone arrived, gravity-defying silver hair, dressed in his Jonin vest. He looked at all of them. My first impression of you all is... I hate you all, he said. Sasuke's sweat dropped. Sakura, who was screaming in her mind, could not believe it. As Naruto started to laugh. That snapped Sakura out of her shock, as she looked towards him. It was really that you hear Naruto laugh out loud. What's so funny, she asks. This guy's got style. Showing up an hour and a half late, and telling us that he hates us all. It's rather funny, said Naruto. How is that funny, Sakura asks. I guess I just have a better sense of humor than you. What? Sakura said to him. As Kakashi cut in, meet me on the roof in 5 minutes. He proceeded to vanish after that. Around 5 minutes later, Sakura was just drawing Naruto to the roof, as they all sat down, on the stairs. Sasuke eyeing his new sensei, and the man lazy attitude. In fact, he reminds Sasuke of Naruto. He was one of the boys in the class that, well, unlike the others, did not try to get actively stronger or anything. Sasuke was surprised that he actually passed the test, because he was really at the academy, and he did not like to do anything. He was the dead last after all as well. This team was just gonna hold him back, Sasuke thought to himself, in anger. Alright, let's get to know each other, starting with introductions. Why don't you go first, Sensei, so we can understand? Kakashi sighed, fine. My name is Kakashi Hatake, he said. I have a couple of likes, and a couple of dislikes. My goals and hobby for the future as well. I'm not sure I should tell you guys that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But you didn't say anything, said Sakura. On the contrary, I said a lot. How about you go first, he said to her. Alright, fine. I am Sakura Haruno, she said. I guess I got a taste for sweet things. My friend Hinata introduced me to cinnamon rolls, and I have to say they're rather amazing. I also like ramen as well. Naruto was the one to introduce me to that, and it's pretty good as well. I also like to read, and learn new things while reading. I dislike people that judge people for no reason. And my goals and dreams. Well, I guess I want to become one of the greatest kunoichi that has ever walked this earth since Tsunade Senju, surpassing her, and become one of the greatest, she said with a smile on her face. She has a good ambition, Kakashi thought. That is something that he could use. Why don't you go next? Blondie, he said. As Naruto yawned. My name is Naruto, but you should know that. I mean, you are a sensei. Well, unless you're that incompetent and stupid. I mean no offense, said Naruto. I'm just stating fact. I guess I like sleeping. I like eating too, but I'm not gonna broadcast everything I eat like some idiot. Sakura glared at him. I'm not sure if there's anything I dislike. Or maybe, yeah, there's one thing. When people annoy me, said Naruto. Or try to get me to wake up when I don't want to. Well, that's two, said Kakashi. And you just broke the first one, said Naruto. Kakashi chuckled under his mask. So I'm annoying you. Exactly. So let me finish this. My dreams and goal for the future. I'm not sure I have one. Well, you're still young, said Kakashi. You don't understand, Sensei, said Sakura. He doesn't have one because he's not gonna look for one. Well, I'm sure that everyone will find a goal or dream, something to inspire for, in due time, including Naruto. You're wrong, Sensei. If you know him half as well as I did, you would have understood, Sakura said. Well, okay then. You're next, said Kakashi as he looked towards Sasuke. Sasuke looked towards them. There was a small frown on his face. My name is Sasuke Uchiha. I like a few things, and I dislike a few things as well. I only have one goal, no, an ambition. And that is to kill a certain somebody, and reclaim my clan status. Sakura looked towards him sadly. She remembered reading about the Uchiha massacre. Sasuke was the last Uchiha within Konoha. She supposed he had a reason for being a bad person. Well, he was not that bad, he was just annoyed by most things like Naruto, but he expressed it in grunts and glares, and ignored people outright. Naruto did that sometimes, but he will always find a way to say something, make a comment or something. When you look at it closely, they were not that different, Sakura thought. But Naruto was her best friend, despite him being a complete jackass. Alright, listen up all of you. Tomorrow you'll be having a test. That is a 66% failure rate. What? A test this soon? Yes, a surprise test. And I suggest, if you don't want to throw up, don't eat. Meet me at Training Ground 7 tomorrow. At 8. See you guys, as he vanished. Sakura's mind was playing over his words. I suggest, don't eat. Since she started to take her training seriously, she has been cutting back on her diet so that her body could grow. In terms of body mass, she was much bigger than Ino. She was not fat, far from it, but she had an athletic body because of her training. Her stomach was even a bit more toned and lean, something she was really happy about, as she was putting in the work, so she was getting good results. Hey guys, she said, stopping the both of them. Sasuke looked towards her. I think we should eat. You heard her, Sensei. No, listen up, she said, cutting him off before he could finish. You must always have a proper diet and eat something so you don't feel weak and exhausted. What kind of test would he put us through? So we don't have to eat. I mean, think about it. We wouldn't have our energy or stamina to do anything tomorrow. I think this is a test to see if we will follow that dumb rule. You guys can see that this guy is weird. He showed up half an hour late, and he is just like Naruto, lazy and unmotivated. I think he's up to something. I could be wrong, but I think we should eat. Sasuke looked at her. And if you're wrong? I'm not sure, she said. She looked towards Naruto. Did you really think I was not gonna eat because someone told me not to? And even if I do throw up, it's not his problem, right? Sakura chuckled at that. I figured that you'd say something like that, she said with a chuckle. They looked towards Sasuke. Well, Sakura did. Naruto had already started to walk off. You better be right, he said. As he walked off, she was different. She was different than the other girls. She did not hound after him, something that was probably better. And somewhat annoying because, despite him not liking the girls hounding after him, it boosts his ego a lot. He didn't know how to feel about that. Later that night, once again Naruto sat on his roof. He didn't know why, but he found it rather comforting up here. It was large and spacious. It was not his bed, but it was still rather nice. That is when the shadow appeared once again. You know what? Screw you, said Naruto. If you're gonna keep on disappearing and disappearing, I'm not gonna chase after you. Clang. Naruto heard a clanging sound as he turned to see something knock and drop. Raising an eyebrow, Naruto walked over to see a strange weapon. What the hell? It had a black handle with a gold trimming going around it. The blade, on the other hand, it was longer than a kunai, but not by much. It could pass for a sword, but a very short one. However, the blade was curved and twisted. It was going straight, but it was curved. There were grooves along the side, but the edge was pointed. As Naruto grabbed it, the moment that he did, strange markings appear on the blade as it glowed yellow for a moment. Then it vanished. As Naruto looked at it strangely, he looked around but the thing was gone. So what the hell was this? And why did he give it to him? What's going on, he thought to himself. A distance away, on the nearby rooftop, the figure was once again watching Naruto. Its form, covered in darkness. However, the lower half of the face could be seen, inside of said darkness, as it formed a smile. A happy one. But guys, be and subscribe right here for the next part to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm off now, see you guys soon. Peace.